everyone, and today's question is backspace string compare. So in this question we're given two strings s and t, and in some places they have this hashtag character. So what this hashtag character means is pressing backspace. Alright, so basically they're asking us to imagine typing these strings out like on any text editor, so like here, and whenever we encounter a hashtag character, we're just supposed to press backspace. So in the end, after considering all these hashtags, if these two strings are equal, then we just have to return true. Otherwise, we should return false. So, for example, in this example one, uh, the strings that we have are S and T. So S is A, B, and then a backspace. So B gets deleted, and then C. Alright, and T is A, D, and then a backspace. So D gets deleted, and then C. So both these strings S and T are equal in the end. So we should return true. Alright. Let's see how we can solve this now. So we can do this easily by using two stacks, one for the string S and one for the string T. Alright. Uh, so basically we'll for each for each of these strings we'll just pass through the string once, right? We'll traverse the string once, and whenever we encounter a normal letter we'll just add it to the stack. Alright, but whenever we encounter a hashtag we'll remove the top element from the stack. So we'll pop off the top element from the stack, which is basically what doing backspace means, right? So that's all we're going to do, and we'll traverse the whole string like this, and we'll also traverse the second string like this. In the end, if the letters in these two stacks are uh, same and are in exactly the same order, then we'll know that both of these strings would be equal, right? So let's just try run through this example. So so for S, the first letter is A, so we can just put that in the stack. Then we have a hashtag, so we should pop this off, and then we have a hashtag again, right? That means that we've not written anything on our text editor, but we're still pressing backspace. So in that case, nothing happens, right? So we can just skip this character if the stack is empty, right? Then we have a C, so we'll write C here. Then we have a D, so we'll put D into the stack. Then we have a hashtag again, so we'll just uh, pop off D or backspace D. Then we have an A, so we'll write A here. Then we have a H, so we'll write H here. And then we have a hashtag, so that would mean backspacing H out. And then we have a T, right? So we can just write T, and that's it. That's our uh, we've made our stack S. Alright, so we do the same thing for T now. Alright, so we have C first, so we'll just put that into the stack. Then we have K, so we'll put that into the stack, right? Then we have a hashtag character, so that means backspacing K out, which means we can just select this and backspace it, right? Then we have A, so let's just write A. Then we have R, so let's write R. Then we have a hashtag, so let's take R and backspace it. Then we have a T, so let's write T here. And then we have a hashtag, right? So let's select T and hashtag it, and backspace it, sorry. And in the end we have a T again, so we can just add T here. Now if we look at these two stacks, they are identical, right? So if these two stacks are identical in the end, we can just say that the strings S and T are equal. Now, one thing I'd like to point out here is that while comparing these stacks, we can go like from the top to the bottom, right? So we'll see if it has T here, this also has T here, this has E here, this also has E here, this has C here, and this also has C here, so they're equal. Uh, But actually the word that this stack represents, or this word that this string s would finally represent in the text editor, would be CAT, from the bottom to the top, because this was the letter that we typed in first that never got backspaced, right? Like here, or in the case of T, here. So that's how you're supposed to read the string S, the final version. So basically this stack would be representing CAT, and this stack would also be representing CAT. So we can also just make these two strings that these stacks represent and compare them to see if they're equal or not. So in this case, they're definitely equal. That means S and T are equal. All right. Uh, that's all. So let's get into the code now. So what do we need? We need two stacks, one called stack S and one called stack T. Right. That's all. Now we just have to pass through the string s1. So for character in string s, if this character is not equal to a hashtag, then we should just append it to the stack s, right? So stack s dot append ch. Uh, otherwise, we should otherwise we should first check if the stack is empty or not. So if the length of the stack is 0, then we should not do anything, right? We should just pass, like I described in this case. When the stack was empty, we should just pass, right? Otherwise, if it's not empty, then we should pop off the top element. Yeah, so that's all. And we do the same thing for string t now. So for ch and t, if ch is not equal to hashtag, then stack t dot append ch. Oh, and this should be stack s, I'm sorry. Right? Yeah. And else if the length of the stack t is not equal to 0, then you can just do stack t dot pop, right? So this elif code and this whole else thing does the same thing. This is just a shorter version, right? In the end, what we have to do is try to compare these tracks, so stacks, or the strings that these stacks represent. So doing that is pretty easy here. We can just use the join function. So so uh, if I write this, right? So what this function is going to do is it's going to read through the stack s array from the beginning to the end, and it's going to join it and convert it into a string. It's going to join it by adding this between the elements, which is just a null string, and it'll return a string, right? So all I need to check is if this string is equal to the string represented by the stack t1. So we can just check that by doing the same thing for stack t, right? If both of these are equal, then this will return true, and that is what I should return to. If both of these are not equal, then this will just return false, so I'll just return false. Alright, let's try to run this code now. Great, so this works here. Let's try to submit it. Alright, so great, so this this works. Let's talk a little bit about the time and space complexity of it. So if n is the length of string s and m is the length of string t, then the time complexity is just big O of m plus n, right? Because we're traversing through the string s once and then through the string t once, and that's basically mostly what we're doing. The space complexity would also be big O of m plus n, because we're maintaining two stacks, stack s and stack t, for each of these strings, and in the worst case, these stacks can become as large as the strings themselves. So yeah, uh, that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I hope it was helpful. If you have any doubts, just leave those in the comments, and yeah, thank you. Bye bye.